What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another week of NFL predictions. This is week 2. Last week we predicted 15 games, but obviously there were 16, but we didn't get the season opener between the Lions and the Chiefs because we just didn't record in time. That was on me. Although there were 16 games played last week, some would argue there was only 14 because the Steelers and Giants forgot they had a game. I mean, week 1 was filled with a lot of surprises, some tragedy. One thing that really surprised me was the Rams making a statement, proving me wrong. And they don't really got nobody. What their top receiver is Van Jefferson. Like, they're bad. But anyway, moving on to week 2, that's all in the past. On the screen right now should be the results from our predictions last week. I went 9-6, which is pretty respectable in my opinion. I feel like the game with the Rams really threw me off for a loop. The Broncos could have gone either way, and let me stop making excuses, but I mean, at least I don't have to be Eric, who is 5-10. That's kind of crazy. He did pick upsets like the Cardinals and the Colts, so he kind of set himself up there. The Colts actually did come close, so I won't, blame him. However, really poor start. And then you look at Madden, who is beating our ass. Well, not really. I'm only 2 games behind, but this is surprising to me at least. 11-4. Impressive stuff. I remember when I saw that when they had the Rams winning, I was like, ain't no way. But apparently they knew something I didn't. And so yeah, Madden is currently up on us, and I did say in week 1 that wouldn't happen. Listen, I'm about to come back, don't worry. Let's get right into it. Take it away, future me and Eric.
What's up, guys? How are y'all doing today? My name is Eric.
Who the fuck?
The Vikings and the Eagles. I did call last week that the Vikings could lose, but I still chose the Vikings like a dumbass, and now I'm paying for it. Who do you have in this game, Eric?
I got the Eagles. Eagles are gonna stay undefeated. They had trouble against the Patriots, but the Patriots were actually looking pretty good. The Vikings really didn't do bad on paper. So the Eagles beat them last year, week 2 or 3. I think it was 2 actually. They beat them, and I really think they're going to beat them again. If we can lock down Jay Jettas, then
I think it was week 2 as well, yeah.
The only thing is, I think we're going to see a lot more out of DeAndre Swift this week for the fact that Kenneth Gainwell is listed questionable for a rib injury. We'll really see how he does, how it goes out. But yeah, I got the Eagles taking it.
And since we're talking about using people, maybe the Eagles should use Dallas Goedert more. The hell's up with that,
maybe.
Bro? I still won my fantasy matchup, guys. I remember I told y'all to start anybody on the Eagles. If you started Dallas Goedert, I'm so sorry. And it was very disappointing. Their offensive coordinator doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. So the Eagles didn't really look very strong. That being said, they look stronger than the Vikings. And last year, they absolutely mollywopped them. So I don't really have a reason to think anything's going to change. So I do have the Eagles in this game. I do think Justin Jefferson's not going to get locked up out of his mind this time. And the Vikings are probably, I hope at least they stay away from the turnovers, because that's what killed them last week. The turnovers. That's what really made them lose that game. It was pretty winnable. But then again, the Bucks did play a lot better than people expected. I definitely thought would happen. So despite this, the Eagles didn't really look amazing. They still found a way to win, and I think they're going to do the same exact thing.
Got to wipe off the rust a little bit.
Yeah, they're still going to find a way to win this week. Being played in Atlanta is the Packers and the Falcons. Who do you got?
I was proved wrong last week about Jordan Love not being a good quarterback. I was proved wrong. He played very good. I do have to say, he played very good last week. Aaron Jones played very good. I think you're really going to see still a well-rounded Packers squad, and I think they're going to take this one against the Falcons. I don't know, maybe not a blowout, but I definitely think they can take it.
Well, that's surprising.
What about
Eric.
you?
I'm not going to lie. But I actually have Atlanta in this game. But I chose the Packers last week because I didn't have confidence in the Bears, but they really proved me right last week. The Bears did not look good at all, but the Packers looked really good despite just a lot of the errors that the Bears made. Jordan Love looked very composed, and I actually expected this. He's been in the league for a while. He just hasn't played much in real competition. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, I did say that the Packers are now going to be a very run-heavy team, and they really did lean on the run a lot last week. Although I didn't like what I saw out of AJ Dillon, I'm not going to lie. Aaron Jones is looking like he's going to be great, but I think he also I don't know, like bothered something on his body. Like I don't think he got injured, but something seemed up with him. Either way, the reason I'm taking the Falcons, because I'm kind of rambling. I really liked what I saw against the Panthers last week. I definitely thought it'd be like, obviously it was close score wise, but the Falcons really owned that game. Jesse Bates looked amazing, and I think they can really stop the run, which is what Packers are going to try and do the most. But even if they tried to pass, they proved they can take the ball away, and I think if they do that, they will get the win rather easily against the Packers. So that's why I got them. So the Bills and Raiders being played in Buffalo. You know, who do you got?
Got the Bills taking it. Josh Allen did not look good last week. Josh Allen did not look like the Josh Allen that we all knew. And you're facing, the whole team didn't look good. There definitely was not something right with that whole team other than Stephon Diggs being still a top wide receiver in the league. Aaron Rodgers get knocked down within the first 75 seconds of the game.
Yeah, unfortunate.
You still can't beat Zach Wilson's Jets. There definitely was not something right. And I think this will 100% be a close one. But I just think just a little bit the Bills will squeak by it, just barely.
Pretty dangerous. This man, Josh Allen, must have thought he had green jerseys on. He might be colorblind. I'm not sure, because he was giving the shit away, basically. It was like Christmas Day, the way he was giving away the ball.
What, three interceptions, one fumble?
He fumbled a snap. The thing is, the first interception I'll give him a pass on. It was basically an arm punt. But the next two was just him forcing things, and even he said it in the post-game interview. Like, it's not going well for him, and it, like, mentally he was beating himself up for it, but he's taking responsibility, and it seems like he's going to be able to learn from it. Mm-hmm. I do think that Josh Allen's going to rebound, though. This is the Buffalo Bills, and we've seen this team over the last couple of years. I think they're still going to be, you know, one of the top teams in the AFC, and now with the Jets' unfortunate injury, I'm thinking it's them or the Dolphins winning this division. But when it comes to the Raiders didn't look too bad last week, but I don't have a lot of confidence in them to cover the receivers of the Bills or just do much of anything against them. I do think the Bills will take this. The next game is the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. Who do you got, Eric?
I got the Bengals, and I got them actually winning it with a big margin. I feel like Joe Burrow after the game was not happy with himself at all. And I think he's going to be in the facility every day, every night leading up to this game. And I think he's ready to face a division rival. I just think he's just going to look good. Jamar Chase is going to continue to be good. You couldn't really see much of him last week because there was 85 passing yards. I know it was raining. I don't think you can use that too much as an excuse because it's the same thing for Deshaun Watson, who played very good. So I do think he will come back and play very good.
I actually do have the Ravens winning here, and I'm not too confident in it, if I'm being honest. This is a game I feel could go either way. I've seen a lot of AFC North ball as a Steelers fan. The Ravens don't go down easily. And I think a lot of people expect the Bengals to just come out and expose them, like the Ravens. But with as bad of a week as they had last week, I obviously don't think it's going to linger around for too long. The same shit happened last year. All right, the Bengals are still a good team. They're not going to lose sleep over it. However, I think it's still going to carry into this next week. There was just a lot wrong. Like, T. Higgins did not perform good at all. No, Joe Mixon could not get anything going on the ground. Joe Burrow needs some help. I don't think he's going to receive it just yet. The team still needs some time to gel, and I think the Ravens, despite the loss of J.K. Dobbins, which I literally said last week, if they stayed healthy, I feel like him and Gus Edwards are going to do something. It sucks, but I think the Ravens, despite that, still have a lot of talent with Odell Beckham Jr. I think they still have Rashad Bateman. Lamar looked really good last week. He didn't put up any flashy stats, but whenever they needed to play, he got it. So I think the Ravens are actually going to pull this one out. I'm not really confident in it because, like you said, Joe Burrow, I think he's going to do a lot better this week, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to overcome the Ravens. This next game will be played in Detroit, coming off a massive win last Thursday night. It's the Lions versus the Seahawks. Two tough NFC teams. Who do you got, Eric?
I got the Lions taking it here. They beat the reigning Super Bowl champs. So everyone was looking good, and you can really see how strong that running game is going to be for the Lions this year. The rookie Gibbs, right? I believe.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs, and then their their starter David Montgomery. You are 100% going to see a lot of running plays this week, and they will beat they're going to beat the Seahawks, and they're going to stay undefeated this week.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Eric. I think that the Lions are going to take this one. The Seahawks last week really surprised me with how just poorly they played, mainly on their defense, but putting up the amount of points that they did, I think it was 13, don't at me on it. But the Rams mollywopped them. And still, like, even though the Rams proved me wrong, they're not a good team. And so, like, it raised some concerns on the defensive end, and their offense really just couldn't get clicking. It's not looking good for the Seahawks. I do think, it's just week 1, so I'm not going to overreact too much, but I do think against a team that's coming off of beating a Super Bowl champion of last year, despite the implications of it, I still think that team, they're going to ride off that momentum and just get into this really hot start to start the season. I'm on the Dan Campbell train. It's probably going to be close, but I still got the Lions winning here in Detroit. The Los Angeles Chargers are going to visit the Tennessee Titans. I mean, I feel like I don't have to ask you, but who do you got, Eric?
The Chargers.
Damn, I'm surprised.
The Chargers are a top AFC team.
They proved it.
And they are going to win this game, and they are going to make the playoffs. Chargers looked good last week. Chargers will look good this week, and they will win it against the Titans.
I'm actually going to pick the Titans. No, I'm playing. I'm going to pick I'm going to pick the Chargers, and I feel like anybody that has a brain is going to. The Chargers were involved in what I think was the game of the week last week. It was insane. Tyreek Hill on my fantasy team carrying. But I mean, the Chargers are just an all-around complete team. I feel like it's just like how far, because we've seen the Chargers last year, the year before that, they looked like a complete team before as well. It's just they haven't ever been able to capitalize on it. I think that when it comes to facing the Titans that looked like complete ass last week against, in a winnable game versus the Saints, and the Titans just don't really have a good team, and you're looking at the Chargers, and they got a good team. So I don't think it's even a competition here. I think this could get ugly and pretty fast. But yeah, no surprise, I got the Chargers as well. The Bears are visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One team had a terrible ass loss, and the other team actually won in a game that they weren't expected to. So who do you got winning?
I think we're going to split here, just because I have a feeling you are going to go with the Bears, but I have the Bucs winning it. Maybe I'm wrong. I know you're a certified Bears hater, but the Bears looked terrible last week.
Oh, hell yeah, they did.
They were not a team that coming into the season everyone thought they could be, like an improved team, not so much of a, Super Bowl contender, but definitely they looked like an improved team, but they just didn't. And the Bucs surprised everyone on how good they are. I don't know, but Baker Mayfield,
he looked pretty good.
It wasn't.
We need to see more.
Win.
Yeah.
It wasn't a cute win, but I think they will win it. It is definitely probably the worst matchup of the week. I don't think either that or you get Colts-Texans. I think the Bucs will win this one, and I can't say much about it because there's nothing really to talk about. It's you flip a coin, and that's who's going to win the game.
You had a feeling I was going to say the Bears. Well, you're completely wrong. I'm not taking the Bears. I'm taking the Bucs because I really liked how they won last week. They kind of proved me right. I said that they would come out and make a statement. I didn't think they would do it by winning, but they did. But they came out and really surprised a lot of people with his win against the Vikings. So, I mean, I have no reason not to be excited about seeing the Bucs play again. I do need to see more because I'm not really completely sold on Baker being good at all. You want to know what I am sold on? Justin Fields being ass. All right, Justin Fields. He had some good runs, but let me give him credit. He threw a touchdown pass to the other team. That's what he did. That shit was insane. Absolute dime. Yeah, Justin Fields does not look good, and I had a feeling he wasn't going to play up to everybody's standards. They were saying he was going to win MVP. Let's be for real, bro. I think the Bucs will actually win, and I think the Bears are going to continue their crumble. Now, if they prove me wrong like the Rams last week, I might cry myself to sleep, but I don't think Justin Fields is good at football right now, so we'll see. And their OC looks like their ass. They don't even trust their own quarterback to throw the ball. But I still got the Bucs. They impressed me, and so I'm still going to go with them. The Kansas City Chiefs, who just signed Chris Jones to a one-year deal, and they lost to the Lions, and they were like, damn, I need him. They will be going to Jacksonville to face the Jacksonville Jaguars, coming off a win. A little closer than expected, though. What do you got, Eric?
I think there's a couple matchup of the weeks this week. This is definitely one of them. They're usually, like, especially towards the middle of the season, there's two teams that are like, man, these are two good teams going at it. But since the beginning of the season, you got a lot of teams with a lot of expectations facing up against each other, and this is one of them. The Chiefs, reigning Super Bowl champions, the Jags. And I got the Chiefs winning it. I think, especially since they just got Chris Jones. I think last week, I don't think it was a fluke. I really don't think last week was a fluke. You can't blame it on not having Travis Kelce, because you have three other receivers on the field that could make plays.
Well, you could argue that Kadarius Toney isn't a receiver anymore.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney is the reason why they lost. It wasn't because of not having Travis Kelce. It was simply because the receiver, not the receivers, the receiver Kadarius Toney completely ruined that team's chance of winning it. I think the Chiefs will win it. It's going to be a close one. This isn't going to be your typical blowout game. This is going to be a high-scoring game because both teams have weaker defenses. But this is going to be a tough game for both teams. And whoever wins this, you will know who will be a top contender for the AFC Championship.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I also have the Chiefs winning on the road. And I like the Jaguars, and if you know me, they're like my second team. And so I'm actually hyped to see them this year. I think that they came really close to beating the Chiefs last year, and you could attribute that to a Patrick Mahomes, foot agitation. But I still think they played really good, especially when they came back, against the Chargers for their playoff win. However, the Chiefs, I think they're going to just rebound here. They didn't have a good showing against the Lions. Well, Kadarius Toney didn't, but, their team just really didn't do that well and just came up just short against the Lions. I think the Jags could win this. They're at home. Could win this. They're at home, but I don't know. I don't see them beating the Super Bowl winners in week 2. Patrick Mahomes looking for some redemption after that week 1 performance. Probably won't throw it to Kadarius Toney at all. And if they don't, he's going to win. I think he's going to have Travis Kelce back, and just with all those weapons, I think it's going to be too much for the Jaguars. The Indianapolis Colts visiting the Houston Texans. Both coming off losses. Who do you got, Eric?
You got the Colts again. Mark my words. This time it will be different. I don't know why, but this year I am a Colts fan. I don't know why. Like what Michael said about the Jags, the Texans are one of my, just a team I root for. But this year, I think the Colts are going to prove a lot of people wrong. And I think this game, it won't prove anything because it's the Texans. I just think the Colts are going to take it. Flip a coin. That's who's going to win this game.
I got the Houston Texans. All right. And the reason why, it's very simple. Anthony Richardson never went down last week. I'm picking the Colts because they surprised me. But he's running like he's a goddamn linebacker. He's out here trying to run people over, lowering the shoulder 24/7. He's going to need to learn how to slide, all right? He's going to need to learn how to do that because we do not want this for Anthony Richardson. He looked good. He looked sharp. Honestly, he went down in like the last 40 seconds, okay, of the game. I think he had the best rookie performance by a quarterback. I mean, you got, Bryce Young, and I was really high on him. He threw like 2 picks, and it was like the same thing he threw picks on. But Anthony Richardson, he looked good. But I fear about the fact that he's gonna be coming back off that injury. I don't want him to re-aggravate it. But the way he plays, bro, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna try and run people over anyway. I don't think it's smart. I think he'll learn what beyond just his rookie year not to do that. The Texans, you got C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson Jr., who I think is gonna win Defensive Rookie of the Year. The Texans do have talent on their team. Like, they're not great. But I think they'll just scrape by with a win here. I don't know. I just have a feeling the Texans are going to win, honestly. Maybe C.J. Stroud will look a little bit better. Hopefully he'll look a little bit better than his test scores. I got the Texans at home. San Fran 49ers, who just put on their best Seth Rollins last week, curb stomped the Steelers. And then you got them visiting, which didn't matter much last week, the Rams in SoFi Stadium, who just came off a pretty good win against the Seattle Seahawks, though. Pretty good win. But who do you have, Eric?
I got the 49ers winning this, and it is going to be reckoning day. It might be the best team in the NFL. I know the Cowboys won 40-0. Don't get me wrong. That's fucking crazy. But when you have almost when you allow a team to almost have 1 yard going in half, bro.
Yeah, it was bad. Stop reminding me, bro.
The defense is good. Brandon Ayuk coming. I think people
I'm getting
were
PTSD,
expecting him
bro.
to have a breakout year. Holy shit. He had way more than a breakout game.
Holy
That's
shit.
definitely one of the best wide receiver turnouts that I've seen in a while. Only reason why Rams might have a chance is because God just fucking did something for him, because there ain't no way that they can beat this 49ers team.
So I also have the San Francisco 49ers. Who would have known? However, the Rams did come out and beat the Seattle Seahawks. Nobody really expected that, but they're going to get taken down to earth after this game, just like I was. Just like I was. Oh, God. The 49ers are just insanely good. Their defense is just top-notch. Believe me, I saw it. You know, when you force a team to have 1 yard almost into half, like, granted, the Steelers went 95 yards for a touchdown afterwards, but, like, that's the only time it happened that game. Their defense is good. It's scary. You know, Nick Bosa didn't have, like, the greatest game ever. Like, he really didn't. But the rest of their defense did. Like, Fred Warner, he looks lethal. You know, it's looking good for San Fran. If you're a San Fran fan, this is your year. I think you're going to come out here and the poor Rams are just going to get absolutely shit on. I'm sorry, Rams fans. I know I just hated on you last week and you proved me wrong, but it ain't happening this week, let me tell you. Coming from a Steelers fan, I saw it. I saw it. Okay, they're going to destroy you.
Giants, Cardinals.
And who do you got?
Got the Giants. Okay.
Yes, sir. Blue men?
I don't
G-men?
know. I don't know who you can go with after last week. If this was last week before Sunday night, I would have never considered Cardinals maybe winning this game. Apparently, I considered them winning against the Commanders, but this game I would have never considered. But right now, Giants did not look good. They did not look good. Daniel Jones did not look good.
I think they just forgot they had a game.
I think Saquon Barkley did not look good. I think Brian Dable is pissed right now. I think he's going to rip into him a lot, you know, being former coach of the year. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win this game, but it's not going to be pretty this season for the Giants if they don't win it. God hope that they win for that franchise.
Yeah, I think New York fans as a whole are kind of in shambles right now. Kind of a tragedy, if you will. But the G-men, probably worse than the Steelers, got curb stomped, and it was bad. It just kept going and going, and it's sad because the Giants had a good drive going. They get to they ended up stalling out, so they go for a field goal, and that shit gets blocked, and that's just how the game went. So the Cowboys, their defense, obviously nothing short of amazing, but however, when you're going against the Cardinals, I don't think that matters too much. Like what defense? And this is kind of disrespectful. The Cardinals did come out and, I mean, given it's the Commanders, but they came out and they looked pretty good. The Commanders kind of looked like they were beating themselves, though. Like, Sam Howell would make some dumb mistake, and that's kind of just giving the Cardinals a ball, and they'd get another field goal, because God forbid they touch the end zone. Kind of unwatchable football last week from those two teams. But I think the Cardinals are just, again, not good. They aren't winners. And so when you face the G-men who lost 40-0, I don't think it matters much, even when they're on the road, going across the country to face the Arizona Cardinals. I think it doesn't matter much. Daniel Jones and the gang, they never back down, never what. Okay, they're gonna go out there, prove they're not ass, and show that week one is a fluke and that you can't overreact after week one. At least I hope. The New York Jets are going to visit the Dallas Cowboys in this game. The Dallas Cowboys, obviously, really hot. What do you got?
And the Jets, looking very ugly right now. I'm sure they won. They won, but at what cost, man? At what cost?
At what cost? The second worst tragedy on that day ever. We know you're a Jets hater.
I got a tie. Kidding. I got the Cowgirls taking it, but it's Zach Wilson running fucking football.
Milf Hunter.
It is. It's the Cowboys.
So the Cowboys come off of curb stomping the Giants 40-0. The Jets come off of a win. It really wasn't a win, though. Let me be honest with you. You know, it's amazing for them, and the MILF Hunter is back in action. And, you know, maybe if Aaron Rodgers is in the earpiece, they can do something, make something happen. But this offense for the Jets was literally built around Aaron Rodgers getting the ball out quick, and it's not something Zach Wilson can do. Yeah, the Jets, it's a sad day, and they're gonna lose against the Cowboys. It's that simple. We have the Washington Munions facing the Denver Broncos in Denver. Mile High. Who do you got?
Back at the Broncos, I can't even elaborate because both teams did not look good. Both teams, one team won, one team didn't. So you could go as far as saying Commanders would win, but I just can't. I feel like the Broncos tried to get a victory falls. I must say, Russell Wilson did play good, had 2 passing touchdowns, but it wasn't enough to get your team the victory. I do think, is Jerry Jeudy injured right now? If he does come back by this week, I think you will definitely see a change in this Broncos offense with just one player being added to it. So I got the Broncos taking it against the Commanders.
I also have the Broncos here, and it's mainly because these are 2 teams that make dumbass mistakes. But I've seen way too many when it came to the Commanders last week against the worst team in football. You know, the Broncos, they aren't much better, but I think they definitely are coached better. And if they lose this game, this is the same Broncos from last year. Like, I don't know what to say. But the Broncos, like, if they don't win this game, man, holy shit. I have a lot of confidence in them. A lot more than a lot of people, because this can go either way, a lot of people say. But I think the Broncos have to come out and beat the shit out of them, because if they don't, then, like, what did you get Russell Wilson for? What did you get Sean Payton for? Like, what is the problem in Denver? Like, we need to assess this. The Commanders like to beat themselves up, and I think they're going to do this again this week. And I think the Denver Broncos need to stay away from these mistakes. But I think they will, and they'll come out on top this week. I'm going to switch it up and say who I think is going to win first. So the Miami Dolphins are visiting the New England Patriots. New England Patriots, they just, fended off. Well, they didn't really successfully do it. They almost fended off the Eagles, who were really, really close to winning the Super Bowl last year. It looked bad. It looked bad for the Patriots. Let's remember this. It looked really bad, 16-0, and it was like the first quarter still. Like, they threw a pick six. Yeah, wasn't good. But then they came out and pretty much took it all the way back, but like just weren't able to finish the job. And they were close to doing it, but the Eagles are a very good team. They find ways to win, so it just didn't end up happening. So they're at home this week. They are going to be hosting the Miami Dolphins, who, and listen, there's a lot of teams I would have said the Patriots would have won. There's a lot of teams, but it's the Dolphins who just lit up the Chargers that don't even have that bad of a defense. When it comes to the Patriots, I don't think it's not going to be a blowout. I think the Dolphins are going to do exactly what they did last week and just light it up through the air. I think the Patriots are also going to score quite a lot here. Hot take. But I think the Dolphins are going to win. Like just like a lot of other people, I just don't see them losing after a week like last week. I can't imagine it. So who do you got, Eric? Who do you got?
I'm going to switch up. I think this is going to be the biggest split that we've had. I got the Patriots winning it. Yeah, the Dolphins did very good. Tyreek Hill did very good. Tua did very good. Waddle did good. He was just missing his touchdown. Everyone did very good last week for the Dolphins. Look at Mac Jones. I'm looking at the stats right now. 316. There wasn't a lot of rushing games. Mac Jones did very good. He just messed up that one pick six that he threw. Other than that, which you could even go as far as saying, if that didn't happen, they would have won, which they would have. You're going to see a lot of connections between Kendrick Bourne and Mac Jones, as we saw in this first week. That was definitely one of his favorite targets. This year, he's going to be utilized a lot. The amount of tight ends that are on this Patriot squad, right now, Hunter Henry is looking very good, because you got to remember, they also have Mike Gesicki too. And I think if they can just tighten up the screws a little bit on defense, I think they will pull through against the Dolphins.
Monday night doubleheader. You got the New Orleans Saints visiting the Carolina Panthers. Interesting game, honestly. But who do you got?
The Saints won last week. Panthers did not win last week. You have a rookie quarterback, or you have a veteran quarterback. Derek Carr will lead this team to a traumatizing victory. They are going to look ugly, but they will win. I don't know why I think they're going to look ugly, but they're going to look ugly. They really didn't look cute against the Titans, let me just say. The Saints are still missing that one key player, AK-41. They are missing that one key player. As of right now, I do think the Saints will win, but it's going to be an ugly win.
I think the Saints are also going to win. My reason for it, I wanted to pick the Panthers so bad, mainly just because the Saints didn't show me anything last week. Like, I think Chris Olave impressed me. You know, you said he had 112 yards. He didn't need a touchdown to look great. You know, it would have been good, but this was a 16-15 win against the Titans that they had. It wasn't a great game. And then you look at the fumble. It had been a fumble or whatever that got recovered and taken to the crib, but then they called it back. But the Saints found a way to win, and that's all that matters. I think they'll look better, though, this week. Just slightly. I mean, this is going to be a sloppy team, like you said. But I don't think the Panthers looked any better last week. If they can get the run game going, I can see the Panthers competing, but I don't think they'll beat the Saints. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm so excited. The Cleveland Browns are coming to town against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns is a team that looks good. They just rocked the shit out of the Bengals. They have a good offense. Don't worry about that. You know, Joe Burrow didn't play that much, you know, because he was injured, but we don't got to worry about that before that game. Let me clear up. But the Browns look good. And the Steelers, on the other hand, do not look good. Now, they faced a really good football team, a really complete football team. Let's not discredit that, but Cameron Hayward down at least, like, probably multiple weeks with a groin injury. Deontay Johnson has a hamstring injury. It's looking bad, dude. But who do you got, Eric?
I got the Browns. But I think what's going to carry these Browns is Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb did very good on the run last week. As it says here, 106 yards, no fumbles. Deshaun Watson needs to tighten up the screws a little bit. He's still rusty. He missed out a whole season and a half season last year. There's just stuff he's going to figure out on his own. But he had a fumble and he had an interception. He did good, though. He did good. I just think they got to utilize David Njoku more. He's a very good tight end, and I don't think he was used last week as he should have been. But when you switch up your scheme to Nick Chubb running the ball, and it works, as he is a top running back in the league, it's going to continue to work, and they're going to do it again against the Steelers. So Nick Chubb would have another good game, and I think the Browns will win this over the very, very sad Steelers team.
So this is something I'll never do again, but I'm picking the Browns as well. They say never root against your team. I'm not. Obviously, I want the Steelers to win. It's just I kind of want to win this too. And if I'm being realistic, like, we faced the Browns last year, and we came off a win against the Bengals too in week 2, and we didn't win. And that was with a better defense. Now we don't got Cameron Hayward. I don't think our run defense is going to be great. This is the thing that made me change my mind. I was like, this week the Steelers are going to come back, but I think we're going to get abused on the run game. Like, it's not going to be pretty just because we don't have most of our guys. Like, Cameron Hayward really makes a big difference, but even with him, I don't know if we would be able to stop Nick Chubb. Our team morale is definitely low after that week, and I don't think much is going to improve. I think that it'll be close. It's not going to be a 30-7 defeat, but if I had to be honest with myself, the Browns are probably going to win this game. I hope not. Really hope not. And I'll be happy to be wrong.
That is a good strat, though, because if they win in real life when you voted against them, then you're happy. If they lose, then you'll be happy because you won the prediction. So it's low-key a strat, but you're still an L fan.
Any last words,
Till
Eric?
I'll see you guys next week.
Alright guys, it's that time of the video again. The Madden scores should be up on the screen now. It's gonna like continuously pop up. I was actually kind of surprised Madden agreed with us on a lot, but also had some like a wild take, I believe, they had a wild take with the Rams again. But I guess the Rams are just destined to upset every team in the NFL with the way we're going. Anyway, guys, thanks for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more. It would mean a lot to me. I did spend a lot of time on this video and the last video, to be fair. And I'm just going to continue to get it out to you guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys all next week for week 3. Me and Eric will be there, so be sure to tune in. See ya.